The Prohibition Act of the United States Constitution production, transportation, and sale of alcohol. It became in effect on December 18, 1917, and was ratified by Congress on January 16, 1919. Once the sale of alcoholic beverages was legal, intoxication was reduced, liquor consumption dropped, and the price of illegal alcohol rose higher than what the average man could afford. Abuse was reduced because many women supported the Prohibition Act, kept the men from drinking, reducing child and wife abuse. Another effect was that productivity was increased in the workforce because less men were coming to work drunk. Within a year of being in effect, the Prohibition Act began to be taken for granted as more and more average citizens were sold alcohol for a cheap price from independent illegal organizations. The creation of American organized crime and bootlegging was established. Gangs established zones of distribution in which alcohol was shared. In addition to this, the mafia broke out to solve problems these organizations had in their deals. In most cases, solving a problem meant murder right under the nose of local law enforcement. Gangsters like Al Capone created massive monopolies of illegal alcohol, drug, and weapon distribution that toppled anything before it. Eventually, the mafia became so powerful that the police, FBI, and CIA could do nothing to stop them. Now for a quick commercial break. Stay tuned with us to hear more about the Prohibition Act.
No, Fisher, you can't drive. You're drunk.
No, it's alright. He's driving.
This is a message from the Foundation of a Better Life. Always have a designated driver.
Now back to the Prohibition. With Prohibition still in full effect, alcohol distribution became the main focus of organized crime. Associations sparking a bootlegging era, defying the law, had become fully fashionable. Thus, many continued to drink, and the mafia continued to dominate the American economy. Illegal bars or speakeasies doubled in number while the Prohibition Act was in effect. Most of the alcohol was smuggled in from Mexico and Canada. However, this wasn't the only source for liquor. Many bootleggers began making their own alcohol in secrecy. These people were named moonshiners, as many of their operations took place at night. Some faulty batches of moonshine caused paralysis, blindness, and even death. Once the alcohol was either brought across the border or made in the backwoods, it had to be loaded onto cars. Cars that had to be faster than anything the government owned. Many bootleggers took Rolls-Royce or Ford cars and souped up the engines and stripped the bodies down to achieve outrageous speeds at the time.
This led to one of the most redneck, white trash, and inbred sports of all time, NASCAR.
You ain't half as dumb as me. Gas pedal!
Even though the prohibition of alcohol is long past, the prohibition of other substances such as the classical marijuana to substances such as heroin that only badasses do have caused a new age of wars between rival cartels and police.
Hi, I'm David Goldtree from the Foundation of a Better Youth for the Future. And I just wanted to tell y'all about, even though with today's modern distractions, such as video games, music, TV, school, any type of pop culture, that it's very important to teach your kid how to read. Now, first, to teach your kid how to read, you're gonna want to read a funny comedy fiction book because otherwise they're not gonna be interested. One of my favorite comedy books, fiction, whatever you call it, fake philosophy, is The Book of Feminism. Very funny book. Oh my gosh, it was such a funny read. I'm pretty sure I pissed my pants about 5 times. 5. Like, I never pissed books. Yeah. And you're going to want to start them off with a funny book. And then you're going to want to move on to books into non-fiction, autobiographies. So they're actually learning and it'll make them smarter and more aware of the world around them. Thank you.